My name is Patrick, and I'm here today representing an agency. My agency name is Elite Strategies. And thank you all very much for coming, and definitely thank you to Affiliate Summit for having me. This is the biggest venue that I've ever done. Mainly when I've spoken before, it's been at local of Chamber of Commerce meetings or smaller venues like that. So this is definitely an honor and a privilege for me to be here today. So the title of my presentation, it's a modified talk. It's called Effectively Managing Organic Campaigns for Small Businesses. So really, the target, any of you people could be any number of these things today. In-house SEOs is, who I normally deal with, SEOs in general, affiliates who use SEO as a traffic source, or basically anyone who's interested in learning more about SEO as a traffic source. So what we're going to talk about today, ethics, and I mean, not so much right and wrong, but ethics in relation to, guidelines, affiliate guidelines, webmaster tools guidelines, what's allowed, what's not allowed, and, the fact that maintaining proper ethics might keep your campaign or keep your business afloat longer than one that might not be. Staying organized, that's just kind of something that I like to throw in there, because keeping your campaigns organized, keeping your backlinks organized, keeping everything organized is definitely something that can, help you in the long run. Methods and SEO fundamentals. This is actually the practice of how you do SEO and how to really make it actually happen. The flow of information, outsourcing. So for people that don't have a team of people behind them, team of 10 SEO backlinkers, content marketers, content writers within their organization, how to outsource SEO. The role of content marketing, that's a big buzzword that's being thrown around right now, and already from the meat market upstairs, I've spoken to so many affiliates and publishers, affiliate companies that have been using content marketing. I was really amazed at how many people are using content marketing as a traffic source. And of course, the role of social media. And today's talk, it's going to be an intermediate talk. It's not going to be super technical. I was just talking with a gentleman before this. He was asking some very technical questions. I'm happy to do my best to answer those questions to the best of my ability. But it's mainly for people that are looking to learn more or who already know a lot and want to stay up to date on SEO. So ethics, just want to start off with this. So with a new company, with the new SEO company in every corner, the best way to set yourself apart from the competition is to practice ethical SEO. So, there's plenty of affiliates and there's plenty of people out there that are, doing whatever they can to make a conversion happen or to get their website ranked. And in my experience in the past, those campaigns don't last forever, and the sites with SEO, they end up tanking. And I'm also a personal affiliate. I'm also an affiliate myself, so I could speak to that as well from a personal experience. So following search guidelines such as the Google Webmaster Guidelines, that's really huge right now. Google is cracking down like crazy. You've all heard about Panda and Penguin and everything. And as an agency owner with a couple hundred clients, if we're not following the Webmaster Guidelines, like there's a lot at stake. We could, have a company that's been ranked for years and years and years, and if we don't follow the Webmaster Guidelines, we could potentially lose, a very major portion of their revenue from, doing backlinks that aren't approved. So very important to pay attention to that. Being upfront with clients and managing expectations. For me, ethics is letting them know, like, no, we don't guarantee 10 keywords on the first page within 30 days, stuff like that. Not gambling with a site that isn't yours, and that's a kind of a term that I've come up with. If you are an SEO and you're working on a site that is not yours, you're essentially gambling with someone else's revenue. You're gambling with someone else's money. Affiliate guidelines, those guidelines that whoever your affiliate company is that they put out, they're there for a reason, and they're not there to try and get around them. They're there in place to ensure that you will have a very long and healthy relationship with whatever you're promoting. Breaking laws, and believe it or not, a lot of the backlinks and a lot of the other stuff that people are doing, it's actually breaking a law. And in the past year, I've seen 2 people go to jail from a forum that I belong to as a result of this. And do no harm, of course. If you ever feel like you're doing any harm in any way, clients will love you for it. And it's true. In the short term, it's really hard, to try and say, yeah, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, when there's other agencies and there's other affiliates out there that are making things happen really quick using tactics that might not be approved. But ultimately, they'll love you for it because you'll be building properties that exist for a very long time as a result of pump and dump, here for 90 days, gone the next. Search guidelines. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with SAPE, but spam tactics such as SAPE, blog comments, and other link spam might work, but it's never a long-term solution. So a lot of people are using SAPE right now. It's a Russian blog network. They're buying it for about $200. They're pointing these links at a site. They're getting these sites ranked within about 2-3 weeks, and they're making a whole bunch of money. But it's not, in my opinion and my experience, it's not a long-term solution that's going to generate revenue over time. Same thing with blog network or blog comments, 2-3 years ago. And just because you didn't get hit in this update doesn't mean you're going to get hit in the next one. Don't gamble. If you're an in-house SEO, don't gamble with a site that you don't own. We've covered that. Businesses are now starting to think about suing SEO companies. And I posted a link to an article there from Search Engine Land. That's one of about 3 articles that were posted within this year of a business that actually sued their SEO company for their sites tanking in the search engines. And this one here was actually a RICO case, it takes a lot for a group of lawyers and criminal investigators to put together a RICO case. So it's definitely no joke, and people are really starting to take this seriously. Affiliate ethics. In the long term, using unethical organic search tactics to drive search traffic to a landing page could get your account banned. And I wanted to use my personal example. About 3 years ago, I promoted, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with this, I promoted the no-no hair removal tool. I was with Max Bounty, and I made a lot of money, and everything was going amazing. And, if you would ask my wife would be like, oh, yeah, the no-no hair removal tool. She would tell all your friends, and it was going great. But I didn't read the fine print in my affiliate guidelines, and I didn't know that I couldn't have the word no-no within my domain, and I did. So my domain name contained the words, it was nonohairremoval.net. And eventually, my affiliate company approached me and says that we're no longer going to be accepting your traffic. And that was everything. My domain was everything. All my backlinks was pointing towards my domain. It was huge. So that's why it's important. I'm not here to say like ethics. Oh, you have to do the right thing. And I'm not here to preach. I'm here to say that ethics are in place more to keep you afloat in the long run than anything. Do no harm. These are examples that I've seen, other SEO companies do. I've seen clients no index other people's site, which will essentially, take them out of Google search engine. Slandering a client, buying links that could penalize a site, buying links that you don't know what they are, not refunding a client. And buying links that you don't know what they are, that's a big one. A lot of SEOs that are first getting started out, they'll get emails from India and Pakistan, different places overseas that will offer them, $79.99 for this many backlinks. And people will buy them, but what they don't realize is that they're going to stick to their site, and it might get them penalized, and it might take a team of 2 to 3 people 2 months to remove this package for $79. So it's always, buyer beware. Always be aware of what you're buying. Breaking the law. Sellers on the black market are selling links on sites they do not own by way of SQL injection. SQL injection equals theft/breaking and entering. So there's people on forums and through email marketing that are selling links that are saying, hey, how would you like a link on CNN.com? Or how would you like a link on XYZ site, major brand sites? And these are people that are going in and running queries on major sites and selling links that, if the author of that blog or the owner of that blog or website finds out that that's happening, they could trace that link back to the source, and you could definitely do some jail time for that. They're really taking this seriously. Plenty of other ways, illegal ways to gain links or 301. And I just asked Aaron Kelly, he's a lawyer in the next room who's doing a talk right now. He's a good friend of mine. I've Skype chatted with him a lot. He deals with, the defense of a lot of this stuff. And if you have any questions about any sort of litigation that might be happening or any of this stuff, he's definitely a great guy to talk to and can answer any of your questions. Staying organized, project management software, spreadsheets, using a CRM, files on your PC, making backups. That's going to be the next part of this here. I love Basecamp. Basecamp is the tool that I use for project management. It's a software as a service. It's made by a company called 37 Signals. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Basecamp. It's just great. I'm part of a team of about 12 to 15 people, and some work from home, some work in our office. And it's just good, with the flow of information to keep everything in one central location. And even if you're an affiliate or a publisher and you have only one campaign, it's really good to keep track of things. Why Basecamp is awesome for SEOs and affiliate marketers: keeps your client data organized, all of your sites organized, your campaign data organized. You can add, remove members to share information easily. You can easily collaborate with team members in another state. And once you get to that point where you have 10 or more clients in a campaigns, a spreadsheet just won't suffice. So once it's fine to use a spreadsheet when you're just starting out, but once you get to the point where you have a certain amount of team members, and I'm not here just to promote Basecamp, a project management solution is really the way to go. Basecamp is just what I personally recommend. Backups, I just thought I'd throw this in here because I've recently been just terrified by a backup that didn't happen that really screwed me up pretty hardcore. If whatever you're managing, just make sure to back it up. It's just, and frequently, because it's just terrible when it happens. I don't want to relive the story. SEO, what's important these days? Backlinks are still huge. So despite all the talk about all the bad stuff with backlinks and how they could, tank your site and how all the bad stuff could happen, it's still a huge part of ranking your site on Google. Site speed. So out of our team at my agency, I would say 2 or 3 of the people on my team are dedicated strictly to site speed. So we pretty much spend all day, every day, making our clients' sites faster. And there's a whole industry dedicated just to making sites faster. UX, Google's now looking at at your actual website to see how it's laid out, and that's part of the ranking algorithm. Metadata, alt tags, all that stuff, the meta description, that's still very important. Proper coding, fresh content, and social, very, very important. What would an SEO presentation be without backlinks? Okay, so where not to get backlinks? We've already covered this a little bit. Automated tools such as Scrapebox and Zoomer. People are still using them. People are still having success with these. Again, it's just not a long-term solution. automated online systems. Anything that says automated is generally not good, you know, when in terms of building backlinks. You know, I might be correct, you know, incorrect about that, but per my knowledge anyway. Most forum merchants out there, so if you're on a lot of forums, a lot of them are not the best place to get backlinks. SAPE, definitely not good. Private blog networks or even public blog networks. Two Google updates ago, these really got hit hard. Any payday loan affiliates in here really got hit hard by that update. So where can I get backlinks? There's a lot of places where we can't. So where can I get backlinks? Good backlinks will find you. You will not find them. And that's the truth. That's where content marketing fits into all this. If you're writing good content, if you're publishing good stuff, people are going to want to organically link to you. And that ultimately is what Google is really looking for. Good backlinks come from creating good sites. So create interesting websites that people feel compelled to share. Make really useful properties, widgets, plugin, apps, infographics, charts, bells, whistles, widgets. Share useful, helpful information. And if you can't become a huge brand, become a micro authority or micro brand. So not every affiliate, not every business is able to be a huge authority. If every website were an authority, then there wouldn't be any authorities. So if you can't become, you know, an authority on a broad niche, then become an authority on a micro niche. Find something within the product that you're promoting or whatever you're promoting and become a micro authority on that and become the website that people go to you for. So other ways to get links. This here is an email I got from a good friend of mine. I subscribe to a service called Harrow. I'm not sure of how many of you use this here, but Harrow is basically a tool that reporters use. And what they do is, I get anywhere from 10 to 30 emails a day. And basically, for example, last week I got something from, I can't remember where, it was a big media outlet, and they needed just one person to comment on one story. And I threw my hat in the ring for that, and I ended up getting a really nice link from a really great site. And this email here is from a gentleman that's gotten radio interviews, he's turned down TV appearances, and he's only been doing this for a short while now. So Harrow is a spectacular tool to gain backlinks. And we also have people on our team just responding to Harrow inquiries on behalf of our clients just to get backlinks and get good branding and publicity for yourself. So really great tool that I'd like to mention. Ask for links. So always get credit where credit is due. Find broken links. There's a tool for that, a couple tools for that. Find places where you've contributed, so search for them. But so searching for your name or your product, any product merchants out there, a good thing to do is to constantly run queries on yourself to see if people are mentioning you. And if you find that, ask for a link, because you deserve it. Find organizations you belong to. Blogger outreach. Hit up bloggers in your industry. Bloggers are always looking for content. One of the hardest parts for a blogger's job is to come up with good content. So if you could, approach a blogger with a really neat story idea or something interesting, they're probably gonna, give you a nice shout out. Network at places like this. So I've spoken to a few people already that today that I've definitely think are going to be a good resource for backlinks. And in this day and age, you're going to have to hustle to make it happen. This means lots of emails, phone calls, interviews, patronizing, following up, and scheming. Phone calls and interviews are the biggest part. Now, a lot of people, when we're talking about clients that we have that are Fortune 500, that are, that have a board of directors behind them and things like that, you're going to have to do extensive, many phone calls just to get one backlink. So kind of annoying, but pretty cool. UX. Google is straight up banning sites that look like crap. There's a link there that you can get from the presentation. Google now shows you live sites that they're banning. I think they do about 30 a day. And what most of them have in common is they all look like crap. So they're also using a quality score. First and foremost, your site should be easy for your customer to navigate. So, you know, there's a lot of affiliates that they just want the conversion, but make sure your site is laid out very well. And, you know, UX is a whole different industry in and of itself. So, speed. I don't need to cite references on the dozens of studies that show the importance of site speed. It definitely is. So there are tons of studies out there right now that are clearly showing that if you just make sure that your site is fast and coded properly, you're probably going to rank for a bunch of keywords just based on that. In addition to studies, Google has publicly stated this. Perfecting site speed and performance should be a large part of your efforts, and I definitely personally stand behind that. Matt Cutts, Google spam czar, he, you know, he's tweeted this. He's definitely stated this in multiple different times how important that is, and that's a post from Matt Cutts's blog right there, the Google's head of web spam. You know, basically saying how important it is. And a lot of this stuff is debated. You know, I'm sure there's many people that have said, well, I've seen a study that doesn't say this. All of this is my personal findings as a result of many different campaigns. So if your site takes longer than 2 seconds to load, you have a problem. And this is the truth in the majority of cases. How to test site speed, tools.pingdom.com. These guys are great. It's a free service, and you could plug your site in there, and not only will it tell you how fast or how slow your site is, but it'll give you a breakdown. It'll say, this image is way too big, or this script is way too big, or this, that, and the other thing. So it's really good, and they also offered a paid option that will, I think they test every day, you know, over the course of a month or something. Really, really good product. It could take months to perfect your site speed. So if you're a merchant and you have a product that has, you know, thousands of product category pages, this could take a very long time. I always say to consider speed from the beginning of a new site. So if you're considering doing a launch or something like that, or coming out with a new product, make sure you think about speed from the beginning. There's a great new vendor upstairs today. I went and visited them earlier, WP Engine. They're all about site speed. They basically developed their product for affiliates, you know, basically all around site speed. And there's so many ways to optimize your site for speed. You know, this is a little bit more technical, but the minification of CSS and JavaScript, image spriting, get a better host, get a CDN, caching, so much more. And I put a little link down there at the bottom. Metadata and all that jazz, this is still part of SEO. You know, the meta keywords tag, you know, this, if I was here speaking about 5 years ago, half this presentation would probably be on the meta keywords tag. Today I'm saying not only is it not important, but don't use it. It's not going to help your site at all, and Google does not even recognize the meta keywords tag anymore in ranking unless your site is part of Google News. Your meta description should accurately describe your page. So it is good for SEO if it contains the keywords you're targeting, generally within that character limit. Same goes with title tags. Same with image tags. They should accurately describe the image and maybe even the surrounding text. Your H1 tag is also really important for SEO, as is the keyword density. It's still important, but not nearly as important. So, you know, basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of those 6, you know, points right there, they've pretty much been a staple for SEO for the past 10 years. Nothing's really changed that much. The only thing that is really different is Google can recognize a site that's stuffing keywords into these tags, and that Google, or sites that is not, and it's a great site that's actually has a great product. So fresh content, excuse me. So fresh content is really huge. We also have part of our team dedicated, you know, just as content writers. Updating your website frequently sends positive vibes to Google and other search engines. So, and this doesn't mean just have a blog. It could mean updating a table on your website, updating your dates, adding new members or items to a data set, adding new PDFs to your site, adding a new paragraph to a text or piece of information, adding images. So updating your site as much as possible with as much good information is really going to, help your site in the rankings as much as possible. Probably the best thing that you could do is to blog. Blog about your product, blog about your industry, blog about what's going on. It's going to help. Google's going to get these signals, and they're going to say, hey, this site is updating often. We should rank it higher than their competitor that isn't updating as often. So very, very important. Social media and SEO. So whether or not social media plays a role in SEO is still up in the air to many SEOs. So this is, a big, a lot of SEOs argue about whether or not social media actually is a metric that Google looks at. Some say it's important, some say it's not. Others say it eventually will be, such as myself. Nevertheless, there are still lots of aspects of social media that does help SEO. So for now, make sure you have active Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and Pinterest accounts. This means post information from your blog and site, as well as relevant information from your community/niche. And don't forget about links within your social profiles. And I put an authorship question mark there. I'm not sure if how many of you are familiar with authorship, but when you do a Google search and you see the little square, the person's face within the search results, that's very important right now. And I would say 99% of SEOs say that authorship does not play a factor into SEO, but it will. And when it does, it's going to be huge. So that's why you see so many people diving into that right now, is because the people that look at, all the research data definitely think that authorship is going to play a really huge role in the coming months or years. Outsourcing. So for an agency, it's not a really good idea in general. Link building should rarely be outsourced yourself. A good affiliate will outsource almost everything. So I say that because if you're a good affiliate, you're going to be strictly worried on how to drive traffic and optimize your landing page. I say, remember, everyone is not great at everything. I myself, I'm not a great designer at all. I could barely work in Microsoft Paint. So if you find what you're not good at and outsource that, and focus on what you are good at and focus on that. So when you find someone good, treat them very well and hold on to them. I learned that in the beginning. I used to work with a lot of people over in India, and they've become very good friends to this day. And when you find somebody that's really good, don't try and lowball them all the time with, to get the best price as possible. If you find somebody that you can communicate with, that's a win right there. Somebody that will answer your emails, most of you already know this, is rare in the outsourcing space. So trust no one with your campaign data and your client data. That's a mistake I made early on. I was promoting dating in Australia, and I shared with someone some of my campaign data, and they stole it. And the next day I saw all my creatives being promoted on Facebook. Content marketing is so much fun. For example, at our office on like Thursday or Friday, we'll do 1 hour buzz session power hours where we take one piece of content that we've written, and 10 to 12 people will attempt to get as much attention as we can in 1 hour. So it's really a lot of fun. If you work in a team and you're really trying to promote something, find a piece of content that you might think is viral and go out there and blast it everywhere you can, all your personal social media networks, Reddit, everything. And when we've done that, we've seen hundreds of organic links come back at us, and thousands, tens of thousands of visitors come in as a result of that from 1 hour. So that's a lot of fun. Sometimes the results are insane. That was a power hour right there. We got 450 visits from a site that normally got like 50 a day or something like that. So pretty cool. Content marketing is not rewriting lame top 10 lists and hitting publish. Just writing content, making an infographic, or publishing a video. So content marketing is not just writing content. It's not the act of writing it or designing an infographic or making the video. Writing a post filled with content, developing pieces of media might be part of content marketing, but it's only the beginning. It is finding an amazing outlet to share your newly written piece of content, curating it, and finding ways to share that outlet. Spending an hour with a group of 3 people to think of the best way to title your content. Negotiating with other social outlets to distribute your content. Finding creative ways to get your content tweeted. And allowing other content marketers to use your channels to share their content that is relevant to your niche. So, content marketing is making a really good piece of content, but it's also finding really good places and appropriate places to share it that is going to take off. So before I forget, a few tools that I really personally love. Scrapebox, typically this is a black hat tool. A lot of SEOs use Scrapebox to promote links and to generate links. I don't use it to generate links, but there's a lot of add-ons for Scrapebox that can really help you out a lot. Like if you have a huge list of URLs and you're looking to dedupe them, get rid of the duplicate URLs, Scrapebox will take care of that right away. So really, really cool. Ahrefs, I really love these guys. There's pretty much 3 main indexes out there right now, backlink indexes right now, Ahrefs, Majestic SEO, and SEO Moz right now. And I've tried all 3 of them. I was a paid member in all 3 of them. Ahrefs definitely, in my opinion, has one of the most extensive backlink indexes out of all of them. It picks up the new links the fastest. It's great for checking out your competitors. So if you have a competitor and you want to see what kind of backlinks they have, plug them into Ahrefs. You'll see what type of links they have. Finding referring domains and finding new and lost backlinks. So it'll also show you if you've lost any backlinks within the last month or so, where they are, why you lost them, how you can maybe get them back. So pretty cool. Pewik. Pewik is a replacement for Google Analytics. It does an amazing job of breaking down your data. It is great for exporting for client reports and great for affiliates. I've been using Pewik now probably for 6 or 7 years. It's really pretty to look at. It's really nice to look at. I don't like Google Analytics because I don't like them owning my data. With Pewik, you actually run it on your own server and you own the data forever. It's also free software and it's open source, which is really, really cool. And there's just so many extensions and plugins with it that there's, for an affiliate, it's just almost invaluable. Any analytics, really, but something like Pewik I recommend. Prosper, and it's not an SEO tool, but definitely my favorite way to track an affiliate campaign. I don't think I saw them here today, but I've been using Prosper now definitely for 5 or 6 years on one server. It's never gone down. It's never missed a beat. And basically, I'm sure most of you have heard of Prosper. It's very entry level for most of you affiliates here, I'm sure. But it can give you a breakdown of basically everything you're doing, the IP address, where it's coming from, which campaign is working, which campaign is not working, which creatives are working, which creatives is not working. It's definitely just an amazing tool. Lastly, I don't think about tomorrow as hard as it may be, so I think about the next year and 10 years from now. Read. A good SEO is really up to date on current information, and ABT, always be testing. So good SEO will constantly be running tests, analyzing information, and sharing results with the community. There are no shortcuts. So that's it. Great. Did great with time here. If any of you guys have any questions, you can ask me now. Oops. Or I'm definitely around here all day. So the microphone's there in case anybody has any questions. I'll do my best to answer. I'm not the most technical person in the world. Yes, sir.
Is there a link anywhere or to get the copy of those notes that you have there?
Yes, the gentleman there asked if there was a link there to get a copy of the notes. I believe they're available. I'm not positive on that. I could definitely personally send you one. for sure. But I think actually they're going to be available on the YouTube video as a resource under there. But I'll personally reach out to you afterwards. So, no. Well, definitely thank you guys so much for attending. It was really an honor for all of you guys to be here and to listen to me. You guys are definitely a great crowd. Thank you so much.